something that we normally do. Y'all with me? And it was good for us, to tell you the truth, because when I stepped back in the head big and shame and I haven't been there, it brought back so much memory.
Type thing, like come back and help too, you know what I mean? So, it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion, you know what I mean?
Just weeks before his highly anticipated fight with Jake Paul, Calvin Ford has officially parted ways with Gervonta Davis. According to reports, tensions during training camp reached a breaking point, with too many disagreements for the coach to manage. The split comes right as clips of Floyd Mayweather training with Gervonta started circulating online, fueling speculation. And according to Ford, Floyd's sudden presence in camp has been the main source of all the chaos.
Ever under my banner, I never got involved with fighters to make money from them. I wanted to put them in a position so they can make a lot of money, so they can make a lot of revenue, not just inside the ring.
Floyd Mayweather reunited with Gervonta "Tank" Davis earlier this year, around the time Davis was dealing with his court case involving the mother of his daughter. Since then, Floyd has been heavily involved in Tank's training camp, helping him prepare for the upcoming fight. However, according to reports, Floyd's overbearing presence hasn't sat well with longtime coach Calvin Ford and his team. After several clashes and disagreements, Ford finally decided to walk away. This all comes just months after Gervonta entered a previous training camp without Calvin Ford. And despite the team's efforts to keep things quiet, it's now clear that tensions have been building behind the scenes since the start of the year.
What's going on with Tank? What's going on with Tank, and are we going to see? And when are we going to see him back?
They got a little legal issue. As soon as they get through the courts, they'll set a date, and all we can do is wait. I don't get into that side, you know what I mean? I'm just there when they need me.
This split was the result of long brewing tensions and silent misunderstandings that had been simmering in Tank's corner ever since the build-up to the Lamont Roach fight.
Y'all don't even know Calvin for CCO. I know Calvin, you know what I mean? I don't know.
The trouble started when Calvin Ford decided to step back from working with Tank and shift his attention toward his younger fighters. There were a few reasons behind that decision. Many boxing fans believe that Tank hasn't been generous when it comes to paying his trainers. Although Ford has repeatedly denied those rumors, often explaining that his relationship with Tank is more like that of a father and son rather than a professional setup, he eventually grew tired of Tank's attitude. After a while, Ford quietly removed himself from Tank's corner. The message was obvious. He wasn't happy with how things were going. To distance himself from the tension, Ford began skipping training camps, while Tank, on the other hand, refused to see things from Ford's perspective.
Hey, Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
You changed? Huh?
Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see.
What do you think about the guys yelling in the back? Did that kind of...
It wasn't an open argument between them, but it was obvious their relationship wasn't the same anymore. Then came fight night, and that's when the tension really showed. What happened that night marked the start of a deeper divide that would later cause them to part ways. Gervonta Davis had already brushed off Calvin Ford's advice, feeling that Ford no longer had the right to guide him. In Davis's mind, if Calvin couldn't make the effort to show up at his training camp, then he shouldn't be the one calling the shots on fight night.
And he know when I go spend time with my peace, I'm going through things. You know what I'm saying? When he was there, at least I know where he was at. Because it was something that we didn't do. It's something that we know.
The turning point came in one of the later rounds, when Coach Calvin tried to caution Gervonta Davis to stay alert. Instead of taking the advice, Davis shouted back, "Calvin, calm down and listen to me." The exchange caught the attention of fans and analysts alike. Many saw it as a sign of disrespect toward his longtime mentor.
Submission, you know what I mean? Let me get this word. Let me get this word.
You gotta calm down and listen to me.
Hey, come on now. Just trying to get that in there one more now. There you go. There you go. That's all you have to do. There you go. Stay good. Stay focused. That was a good round. You got me? Turn up now. I want all three of these.
Fans didn't hold back their opinions after the incident. One person commented, "I really feel bad for that man. Tank is so rude and disrespectful. He wouldn't be where he is without Calvin." Another viewer tried to put themselves in Davis's position, saying, "If I had someone like Calvin Ford guiding me the way he did Tank, I'd be grateful for life. I'd make sure he never lacked anything." Others were far harsher. One fan slammed Davis completely, calling him a wicked and ungrateful person, and adding, "After everything Calvin has done for him, he still dares to call that man his father? That's pure hypocrisy."
I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd. You know what I mean? I was more so, it's something we gotta work on in the corner, for sure.
Before the split became public, they claimed Coach Calvin was just stepping back while the training setup stayed the same. Reporters even said there was no real fallout between Calvin Ford and Gervonta Davis.
This question is for Coach Calvin Ford. This is Matt from Brunch Boxing.
Well, Matt.
Now, we know that Tank has talked in the past about retiring, leaving the game of boxing. As someone that's had Tank since basically he was a pup and you've raised him.
People were just curious whether that short break had actually strengthened their bond, like family members who grow closer after some time apart. But Coach Ford made it clear that wasn't the case. He said, "He wanted to see me fail. You both know how much time I spend with my amateurs." Even though Ford wasn't directly training Tank anymore, just knowing he was still active in the gym gave him some peace of mind.
After tonight,
I like to see Tank to do what he want to do. I said at the last press conference. Y'all got to understand, them guys been doing it since they were little. This might energize them again.
Oh, yeah. In fact, he backstage right now talking about he want a rematch.
Mac, no, backstage, you want to go to the gym.
Hey, Tank, real talk. When Calvin be with you on this fight? Huh? When Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see. That's right.
What do you think about the guys yelling in the back?
Ford admitted that some time apart helped both of them value their bond more. When he finally returned to the gym, he could tell Tank had missed him, just like he'd missed Tank. Barry Hunter also shared the same sense of relief seeing them reconnect.
It was the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool. You know what I mean? He will always be around, you know what I mean? So, that's pop, like I said. So he'll always be there. It's without me, without Calvin, it wouldn't be no me. You know what I mean? Cause at first when I came into the
In an interview, Hunter confirmed, Calvin will be there, Coach Barry, Coach Boogie, and Kenny too. Even though Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis wouldn't be in Tank's corner that night, Hunter explained that the rest of the team would still be around, meaning it wasn't a big deal. He reminded everyone this wasn't the first time Tank's team lineup had shifted. Having worked with Tank since his amateur days, Hunter made it clear he wasn't new to the camp. Like Ford, he pointed out how the internet often twists things in that, at the end of the day, Tank is still like family.
Introduce his tone like he spoke in New York. Some of that extra motivation when someone's talking in the crowd.
Like how that bet was.
The two guys, like the bet. Is all this stuff kind of added more?
No, I don't know. You know how people like
Just
I don't know
so
the people that come.
Cards. Judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinski scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114.
Fans believed it was just a temporary change, something that would likely go back to normal once Gervonta Davis returned after a few months. During the fight, Prime Video cameras even caught Davis shouting over Coach Calvin's instructions between rounds, yelling, "Listen to me!" Then came the controversial moment in round 9. After Roach landed a few solid jabs, Davis began blinking his left eye rapidly, turned away and took a knee. He quickly got back up and ran to his corner, where Coach Ford wiped his eye with a towel, an action that could have technically led to disqualification. The referee started an 8 count but stopped at 3, gave Davis a warning, and allowed the fight to continue.
I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up, and I could have definitely did more. Just a lot going on, but again, it was myself, but you gotta go to the gym and get back to the drawing board and
going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the round, and you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I ain't really know that you can like get disqualified for all that. Or like when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know.
Davis's post-fight interview raised eyebrows, not just because of what he said, but how he said it. His tone seemed unusually casual for someone who nearly lost both his title and undefeated record. As the crowd booed, it was hard to tell whether he felt embarrassed or simply didn't care. Later, at the press conference, Davis seemed a bit more humble, admitting he wanted a rematch as allowed in his contract. Still, his comments showed he didn't fully grasp how close he'd come to breaking the rules during the fight.
I'm saying do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So
over the years, Davis has been in some tough and competitive fights against names like current welterweight champion Mario Barrios and former 140-pound title holder Isaac Pitbull Cruz. But the Roach fight stood out as his first truly flat
performance since 2017,
when he fought on the undercard of Mayweather versus McGregor. Back then, Davis missed weight, lost his IBF 130-pound title on the scale, and got booed for an uneven showing before finishing Francisco Fonseca with an 8th-round knockout. In the years since, he's grown into a global star, and despite ongoing legal controversies, those issues never seem to affect his usually explosive performances in the ring.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want now?
I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank, Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but my eyes was burning. And you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I ain't really know that you can like get disqualified for all that. Or like when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?